Okay, and now we're live. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to a bonus podcast from Angry Cuddles. My name is Steven. Joining me today are members of the 926th Ravensword Squadron from DFW. I will let them introduce themselves right now.
I'm Raven 1, Daniel Totten.
I'm Raven 10, Alex Gurley.
And I'm Raven 9, Rich Johnson.
Are the designations, the call signs given based on the order in which they've signed up?
They started out being based on like a squadron would, flight leaders and such. Since then we have outgrown that because that works great when you have 12 members.
Uh-huh.
Now we're up to I think 30 some odd Raven numbers. So now they're pretty well random. It's like, hey, what number do you like?
You didn't think very far ahead. Like it should have been Ravensword like fleet or something, right?
Yeah, well, actually, and this is as good a time as any. So Ravensword started as the 926th Ravensword Squadron, but we have outgrown being a squadron. So now we're the 926th Ravensword, and we're going to be comprised of two squadrons, Raven Squadron and Saber Squadron.
Oh, cool.
Ravens are strictly players. They're what pilots.
Mm-hmm.
You're loyal to the game and the game alone. You would go anywhere, fly anywhere, support anywhere, and not that Sabers wouldn't also, but they have an overlaying loyalty. They are shop owners, employees, maybe people that want to support the game, the community, but don't necessarily play.
Play directly.
Yeah, so like you guys.
So the Raven Squadron are the Viper pilots of your Battlestar fleet.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk very generally about some X-wing stuff, and I'm going to help translate for people that want to learn to get into it. But we're also going to get into some tournament stuff, the recent CAPA Cup that did you guys all?
Yes,
all visited.
Yep.
And so they talk about that, and they're going to talk about some tech stuff, technical things. So if you're into X-wing, and I will try to translate and ask for, as you go along. But I guess we'll start with when did you guys start playing X-wing and why?
Let's start with Rich. I think he's been playing the longest.
Yeah, I excuse me, I started playing about right when the first core set came out, which was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Really didn't start playing really competitively until I met Alex. We did a lot of what we call basement X-wing. I'm from up north, so sitting around with your buddies, having a couple beers, playing, X-wing in the basement, messing up a ton of rules.
Right.
Just having fun. And that's what's so great about the game is there is so much of that still goes on, and there should be. You don't want to lose touch with what the actual enjoyment is.
Yeah.
And like I said, then I met Alex. He posted up online if we wanted to play a game, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't touched my X-wing stuff in like 6 months. I'll play a game, and then here we all are today.
Yep.
What did you, Alex?
So I started in September. I originally was getting into the Star Wars Legos with the kids, so building a lot of Legos. And I really enjoyed the whole model aspect of it. So I started looking up online, and there are actually Lego sets that sell for $3,500 or $5,000.
Yeah.
It's like, this is probably out of my price range for these models. So,
I don't want to spend 6 years building a Star Destroyer anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually was in a hobby store, and I saw the models, and I thought, those are the coolest little models. I kind of want to just get them for display. And then I started reading the package, and it was a game, and I was like, no way, I can play with these? Like, that's
so
awesome.
You bought basically the expansions before you bought
the core
set,
set, right, yep.
Because you thought they would look cool.
Yeah, exactly, yep. And then, I started wanting to play other people, because I was playing with the kids, and they just fly stuff off the board. So I was like, I want to play with some adults, so I got on Facebook, we matched up, and that's been it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I started playing with Raven 5, Mila, my girlfriend, and about right when Wave 7, when Scum and Villainy was released. So about a year, a year and a half or so. Year and a few months. And I actually got the game the summer before, and the models just set on their stands around my house because they look really cool.
Decoration.
Yeah, a friend of mine got me the game. They're like, I don't know if you'll actually like this game or not, but the models look awesome. So he got me the core set, and another friend got me the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, you were gifted the core set.
Yeah, and the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, okay.
And so, I had the X-wing, the Falcon, and a couple TIE fighters just up on stands, and friends of ours managed the Sci-Fi Factory in Lake Worth at the time.
Byronic Commando, and I mean he doesn't officially work for them, but Dragonfly, who comes to our chat room, is Crystal, and so our Twitch viewers are probably familiar with Chuck and Crystal.
Cool. Okay. So they we would go up there and hang out after work all the time, and Chuck was like, "Hey, you've got that game, right?" I was like, "Yeah. Have you ever played it?" I was like, "No." Well, how about we crack it open and learn it? And so the three of us, Chuck, Mila, and I, kind of skimmed through the rules and tried to figure it out. And honestly, when I first started playing it, I was not a big fan of it. It felt like a dice game, and you know how I am with my luck. If there's a flip of the coin, I'm going to lose it. So it's why I don't do poker tournaments, because eventually you come down to a 50-50 chance, and I don't win 50-50 chances.
Right. Yeah.
But Mila picked up the game super quick, got really good, well, relatively good at it as an early player, you know, really, really quick, and liked the game so much that she kept wanting to play it, and so I kept playing it with her. It took me maybe 6 months of us playing before I ever actually beat her, and we were playing literally every single day.
Oh, I recorded the time you beat her.
Yes.
Because he did a victory lap around Y2K, and there were other people, like employees and customers that, like, yeah! And they turned and they went, "Did you beat her?" And he goes, "Yeah!" And he goes running, he's giving people high fives and shit. It was great.
Yeah. That was, but Mila got into it first and got really good at it, and that's what pushed me to get good at it.
So let's do a basic rundown then of just how the game works, just from a fundamental standpoint. You have a playmat, an area.
Yes. So the standard game is a 3 foot by 3 foot play area.
Is it typically 1-on-1?
Yes. Yeah. So everything that I'm telling you right now is going to be standard tournament rules.
Okay.
So 3 by 3 playmat, 1v1, 100-point squads. The points go into pilots, upgrade cards,
and the craft themselves.
They kind of, this game kind of ties a pilot to a craft.
Okay. So you have 100 points to allocate to whatever pilots and cards and stuff that you're going to start with.
Right.
And you can come in at under 100, but you can't go over 100.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. There's 6 obstacles that get placed out on the board at intervals that are set, but they can be placed anywhere within the parameters. And then initiative is decided based on points. If it's the same, it's a coin flip. The mechanic of the game is 2D dogfighting. It's flying your ship.
Right.
You have a set amount of maneuvers that any ship can do, but of your templates that you have, each ship has a specific dial that only uses some of those maneuver templates.
Okay.
So
they vary in maneuverability.
Yeah.
So you decide what all of your ships are going to do, and then execute, and then your ships do them in the order.
Pretty much. You decide what all of your movement is going to be.
Okay.
Well, you're going to set your maneuver dial.
And that's all secret.
And that's all secret, done at the same
Both
time.
sides do that at the same time,
right?
And then place down.
Yes.
Okay.
And then each ship activates one at a time from descending pilot skill to from lowest to highest. So I guess that's ascending pilot skill. From lowest to highest. And then you activate your ship, you move, then you have actions that you can do, extra movements or...
And that simulates the better pilots move last, so it simulates them having a better visual of the battlefield.
Which cost higher points.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that also allows them to take post-maneuver movements, so like they can boost or barrel roll, which allows them to change position after their initial movement.
Okay.
So only certain ships can do that, but that's what a higher pilot skill allows you to do, basically. Allows you to see the field before you do this.
Yeah. And the objective is to eliminate the other team?
Yes.
Or the other, all the other craft.
Blow up your opponent's ships before he blows up yours.
Okay, right. And recently, in the last few weeks, I saw you do a variant that you created that was sort of a simulation, kind of, in spirit, of like a trench run, of like the Death Star trench run, essentially.
Right.
where you start at point A and you're supposed to get to point B, but you also pick up things along the way and then destroy a capital ship or something at the end, right?
Yeah.
With turrets on either side.
The
Go Kent.
the idea was, for those of you familiar with the expanded Legends now universe, Rogue Squadron, or maybe it was Wraith Squadron, whichever one it was, on Fuller Base, they had a trench in the moon that they dubbed the pig trough, because Y-Wings used it as target practice, running through. And so I dubbed this mission the pig trough. It had turrets that would shoot at you, hard points to blow up, cargo to pick up, a thing that ions you, and then a decimator at the end that will try to murder you. And you're running against the clock, and it was a specific timed clock, not just number of movements.
You have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
To right, and I saw. I think it was Alex's run that I saw.
Yeah.
And came in under par, right?
Yeah. Over time by 4 minutes. You did it 19.
So the minimum was 15 minutes.
Yeah. For perfect score is 15 minutes. All hard points. All everything.
I think we determined it was impossible to do it in 15, right? Or was it?
No, it was possible because Ian did it in.
Oh, I thought he was over 15 also.
He was over 15.
He was only 2 minutes under mine, I think it was, right? Or 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Who won that one?
Ian did, the one that went right after
Alex.
Yeah. Now, what was cool about it is, so the game of X-Wing itself is so versatile that outside of this very small 100-point 1v1 3x3 standard tournament, there is an infinite number of possibilities of what you can do with the game, with the ships and mechanic of the game. And there are some that are being more and more accepted by Fantasy Flight. They've actually, I don't know when they introduced Epic Play, but it wasn't right at the very beginning, where you now have these giant capital ships. Your points are have been moved to 300, and you can do things like Team Epic. They've kind of hinted at recently involving a lot of these mission type scenarios.
Well, it's important to note too that for players that may be newer to it as well, a lot of the mission scenarios, they give you scenarios and everything that you buy, like the larger ships.
Right,
They do come with missions, like the epic ships, and then just the larger ships, like the Falcon comes with a mission. I think 2 missions.
Campaigns even.
Campaigns.
They link all the missions together
as one giant campaign.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's important to note people that might be worried about it being competitively. You can actually play the game against itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like that. You can. There's a single player aspect to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Could you basically do capture the flag? Could you create a cap flag variant?
You could. I've been actually, Joseph and I have been working on that. Right now, it always turns into blow up your opponent's ships so that you can capture the flag. But we're working, like, we're getting close. We're getting
figuring
close.
out a balance.
Yeah.
So first, and I'll have you do a full like run up of 926 at the end, so you can publicize it and everything. But where do you do your group meetups and in-store tournaments, and how often and stuff like that?
We meet up at any comic shop or game store that supports X-Wing.
Okay.
In the DFW Metroplex.
Okay.
And there's pretty much any night of the week. We're trying to get it so that stores that are close to each other don't have things on the same nights, so that we can maximize attendance. It's like Thursday nights at Y2 Comics, Tuesday nights at Area 51, Mondays at Collected, Wednesdays at Full Spectrum, and at Collected Burleson.
Have you played at Madness?
Plano?
Yeah.
Did regionals last year at Madness Plano.
Okay.
It's like an hour and 45 minutes from where we live, so we don't get out there for many nightly games.
They were playing X-Wing at PAX South this weekend, and they have there's a giant tabletop sort of area at PAX, and there's a few tables that were doing X-Wing, and I went by and I was watching them, and the dude said, hey, and I said, hey, I mentioned 926th, and he said that he thinks that he's run into you at Madness before.
Okay.
But also people just say shit at PAX. I don't know. They're not, but they were Houston X-Wingers that had come to PAX from Houston. Okay. So, but the CAPA Cup now. What is the CAPA Cup?
Well, CAPA Squadron. Actually, how old is CAPA Squadron?
I don't know how long that they've been around. It was kind of a thing that Nova Squadron's been around a long time, and Alex went up to play in their event and came home and he said, "Man, this was awesome." And it was a bigger event.
That was the Nova Open.
Nova Open. Yep.
Where was that?
That was in Virginia.
Yep.
You guys do some traveling for X-wing.
Well, my brother lives in Virginia, so he plays in their local scene. So he was like, "Why don't you come up?"
You had it in. Already.
Yeah, and I had never. I think that was probably the first time I'd played like 6 games in a row ever. So it was a lot of fun. We went out there and while we were there, they handed out cards for CAPA Cup. They said,
cool.
"Oh, hey, plan for January. You're gonna have a big deal, and come on out." So that's when we.
Yeah, right after he came home, we all bought tickets for it.
Oh, nice.
Like, let's just go in January.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So this was their first major event, I guess, that they'd ever hosted or put on. It just so happened to be in the middle of a blizzard that they weren't.
Where it was in
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania,
right outside of Harrisburg.
Okay.
Yep.
In the colonial area of the country.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you guys went all the way to Pennsylvania in the blizzard. I saw your Hoth pictures.
Yeah.
Me digging out the car.
Did you literally get snowed in? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we totally did.
It was like like 3 feet of snow that fell.
Yeah,
3
feet.
Yeah. It was
That's
record breaking for the area.
Thankfully, it was on the day of the tournament, and we had to play all day inside.
Right.
Yeah,
Never
exactly. It was funny. There was a little. I was about to say incident, but it wasn't even an incident. It was just like the guys running it were like, there's a blizzard out. Maybe we should cut this short. And so they announced like, hey, we're only gonna do 4 rounds instead of the 5 we're supposed to. Try to move this thing along.
Right.
And then we started asking around like
where
are we gonna go? Like, what does anybody have to do? And so we ended up going and talking like, hey, can we put this to a vote or whatever? Like, yeah. So they voted like, hey, so who wants to do just 4 rounds? It's like one person. Like, who wants to do the full 5? Is everybody else? Like, okay, we'll just stay. Like, what else are we gonna do?
Right.
And I just give props to Adam too. If he ever sees this or anything else. I mean, what they had to overcome to put that thing on, what a lot of people don't realize was ridiculous.
Was it in a comic shop? Was it like at a?
It was at a hotel.
In like a ballroom or something?
Yeah,
right.
They lost their original venue 2 weeks before they were supposed to have the event.
Holy shit!
I called and reserved a room the day before, and they didn't say anything to me. They took my credit card number. Okay, great. We'll see you next week. The very next morning, everybody's posting, "Hey, the Hotel Carlisle's closed." Well, what are you talking about? We're supposed to run the CAPA Cup here in 10 days. So
Closed down?
Closed down.
For renovations, apparently.
Quote, unquote,
for like a couple
renovations.
months or something.
The Carlisle Hotel?
Yes. Yeah.
In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Okay, calling you out, assholes. Don't do that shit.
So, like I said, the adversity that Adam and his crew up there had to overcome was extreme, and they did an outstanding job of keeping everything together. I mean, they found a new venue in a week's time, kept everything going.
That's fantastic.
Who's
the venue that came through was?
It was the Park Inn. It was it's I think Park Inn's owned by Radisson, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Yep. So it's just a Park Inn.
Thumbs up, Park Inn.
Yep. They picked us up. With the blizzard and everything, we were supposed to have 64 players and 20 didn't show, so we ended up having 44, which was still, a great outcome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. The TOs, the original TOs didn't show.
Yeah, he had their main TO couldn't make it out there because he was more local, and ironically,
tech officer.
Yeah, tournament organizer.
Oh, okay.
and judge.
Okay.
It was actually ironically a little harder for the local people to make it. Because we flew in before the blizzard hit.
At the hotel.
At
Right
the
there.
hotel, yeah. Everybody else was like, "Oh, I'll just drive down the street." And it's like, "Well, I can't drive down the street."
We came early. There was food and booze at the hotel. I'm like, we just stayed here.
Yeah. So
there's something really awesome about being snowed in a hotel while the event is going on.
Oh yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It was great. But yeah, his original head judge couldn't make it. His backup judge couldn't make it. So they were down to their backup, and then they were kind of asking people that they knew that okay.
Do you know what an X-wing is?
Right.
I did say
if you can identify one by sight.
It was pretty ridiculous. But the amount of effort that they put forth to get this thing off, not even just fighting through the blizzard, which was amazing, but even before that, even if things went off without a hitch. the prize support that they got for this.
Amazing.
Best prize support I've ever
Oh my
seen in
gosh.
any
Really?
miniatures game I've played.
Yeah,
Really?
really great.
I mean, outstanding, ridiculous amounts of prize support. Like, it was worth the cost to go there because of what you received in the end in prizes.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
I walked away with a $100 Felder case, and not even because I placed in the top 8. Just
Oh, wow.
because I showed up and
Door
That's
prize.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Alex's brother got a $100 ship for a
Got
door
a
prize.
Tantive,
Damn.
yeah, just for being there.
Who does? Is it Fantasy Flight that supplies that kind of thing, or do they go talk to shop owners for that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
It's
they
both.
there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of third party manufacturers for X-wing. Not necessarily for the ships, but
Accessories.
Accessories.
yeah,
Accessories.
the accessories.
Yeah.
Tokens,
Acrylics,
maneuver templates,
stands.
acrylics,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, how long did the tournament? Was the tournament proper? Was it like a day? Was it multi?
We started.
Yeah.
We started
10
at
a.m.
11 in the morning, and I think you
Yeah.
finished your last game at 3.
No, 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
2:30.
wow! So like 20 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
now
a long
there's a lot going on. It was 5 rounds and it cut to the top 8. Madness regionals at Madness in Plano last year had 117 people. It was 7 rounds, cut to the top 16.
Yeah, I believe so.
Cut to the top 16,
Yeah.
and they had a similar time frame. There's a lot going on with blizzards. Madness didn't take any dinner breaks; they just pushed right through.
Right.
There were issues with the internet connections that they had, probably because of the blizzard.
Right.
Right.
The programs that they had running.
Was the Twitch channel up the whole time?
I believe
It was,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay,
I
good.
think it crashed once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Uh,
And real quick, I want to welcome Byronic Commando. Thanks for watching. You're part of my podcast, Chuck. But he says the greatest sleepover ever. Sometimes you don't want to leave Hoth.
True.
Which reminds me, if you guys are watching and you have questions for 926, either about CAPA Cup, about X-wing, or about what 926 Squadron is, how to get involved, chat away, ask away. Or if you want to know anything about the game, these guys know a shitload. So, 20 hours, start at 11 in the morning.
yeah.
And first of all, okay, what were your, and if I use a term or something incorrectly, correct me and laugh and give me the finger. What list did you run? Does that,
Let's.
did I say that right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
right.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't really know why it's like that either. Why they call it lists or not squadrons?
It's
What'd you
because
fly?
it came, which I'm actually trying to move away from lists because it's specifically a like Warhammer thing.
Oh,
kinda
is that what it's
got
from?
started? Yeah,
Okay.
you have
It's a
an army
miniatures game
list.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so it does seem very impersonal though. Like we're flying squadrons, and
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
We
so
have a
I'm
cool
trying to,
thing, let's
like,
reference the cool thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like
Spaceships.
if they started calling lightsabers swords in episode 8.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would you do
Exactly.
that?
right. Oh, Warhammer. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, Sir Kilgore says,
Yes.
let's
Yeah.
get from Warhammer. Yep,
Yes.
we got there.
I was flying, and people who know the game are probably gonna laugh at this.
It was an awesome list.
I was flying 4 T-65 X-wings.
Uh-huh.
And a Z-95 Headhunter. The T-65 had all of them had R2 astromech and integrated astromech.
The T-62?
T-65.
T-65. Is
The
that
first gen
That's
X-wing.
the
that's
first.
the first gen? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This
It's-
is Wave 1 stuff.
Yes.
Came in
With-
the original core set from
with-
4 years ago.
Yeah.
With Magic, you know, they'll as they add cards and things move on,
Yep.
and a lot of board games, even a lot of video games, they will sort of change and cut out stuff. Like you can only use
They'll cycle
the
out
last
everything.
wave or whatever.
Yeah.
Did they do that with X-wing?
It hasn't
No.
happened yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
But we haven't had the power creep in X-wing yet either. Fantasy Flight's done a really good job.
Oh, where as they release stuff, they get higher and more powerful,
too
so they
big.
have to.
Yeah, so they have to take something
Cycle
out
out the
or
others.
ban a specific card. Because
Right.
let's face it, not to divert off of X-wing, but I'm a long-time Magic player, from a long time ago. A lot of times Wizards of the Coast, they don't think. They put out a card and they're like, oh, this is great.
This is cool,
Oh,
it'll be
wait,
cool.
we didn't play test it over here. Okay, so now this is banned. Okay, move on. You know what I mean? So Fantasy
Right.
Flight has done an outstanding job of keeping the game fresh and fun.
Whole,
And,
basically,
yeah,
right.
and as a whole.
I want to get back to your
Yep.
to your flight, but I do want to ask if you guys have, while I'm thinking about it, do you feel like Fantasy Flight listens to the players? Like, are they involved? Because a lot of people, and
So-
Wizards of the Coast gets this a lot, where it's like, are you even paying attention to the game that you made?
Yeah, exactly. Are you just in it for the money?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think more so than probably most Fantasy Flight. One, plays their own games.
Okay.
And 2, listens to people who play their game. They're doing this thing where, so it's funny. that my list has all T-65s. Right now, there's kind of a crisis in X-wing where you have a game called X-wing and nobody is
playing the goddamn
It's only a crisis to Daniel.
X-wings are awesome and they should be in the game. It's called X-wing.
Halo 5 has no halos in it. There's not even a ring. There's no Halo-shaped things in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just, in that universe now that has been created. So,
Right.
And so, but Fantasy Flight is very aware and sensitive to that fact that they don't ever want I know that their intention, as they've alluded to a few times, their intention is to never ban things or cycle things. They might eventually have to do that,
right.
But I know that their intention is definitely to keep everything playable the entire time. And right now, their X-wings are just not really playable. The original T-65 X-wings.
However, there's been a fix.
They have.
Right?
They've
Okay.
released.
This comes back to the efficiency, like Alex talked about in the very beginning about basic math.
Okay.
What they released was that integrated astromech that he played, which raises the hit point of the X-wing, which ups the efficiency of the overall list. Your plus minus numbers and your mass of your ship, essentially.
So you ran 4 identical,
and a Z95 Headhunter with it.
Okay.
Because after you put those 4 in, you have 12 points left.
And did you have specific pilots?
Nope, they're all the lowest pilot skilled rookie pilots.
Okay.
Number 2.
So the idea behind the list, if you don't mind butting in, so I kind of helped him a little bit with the idea.
The idea with this specific list.
list.
Oh yeah, this list came straight from Alex actually.
So I wasn't as much as he loves X-wings, I loved B-wings. So I really liked B-wings when I first started. I wanted to make them work.
Can you tell me why they exist? Because
B-wings?
I understand the balance of the X-wing. There's
Yeah.
speed and shields and firepower.
Right.
And Y-wings are the bombers. And
Right.
A-wings are the short, maneuverable little bastards.
Yeah.
And they're quick and zippy. What does the B-wing have to offer besides looking weird?
So it's the heavy assault craft.
Yep.
It basically gets in there and
It's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill. It fights dirty.
It's an A10.
It has it's like a warthog.
Yeah.
So this thing can
I don't know
if you know fighter jets.
sorry, real airplanes. Yeah.
Okay,
Real airplanes.
So basically, this thing can K2, so it can turn around, moving forward only 2,
Two bases.
2 bases, yeah.
Essentially.
So it's just a really good dogfighter, basically. Anyway, so the B-wings are very efficient, and there was a list that was happening in the tournament scene
about a year ago.
It's called the BBBZ list. And it's just a very efficient list. It uses a minimum B-wing and 4 of those, and then 1 Z. And so the reason why it wins so much is because you can kill a bunch of them, and it still puts you on top.
Yeah, it just doesn't care. There's 36 hit points on the board, and it's a list that just says, here's 36 kill boxes. You have to kill me before I kill you. It doesn't roll a lot of evade dice.
Right.
It doesn't care. It just says, here I am.
You just kick open the doors and you unload, and you just you're gonna have to get a little lucky to bring me down.
Exactly.
It's definitely an every man left behind list. It's like
right.
It's not like you're flying in oh hey Dragonfly, thanks.
Yeah, Byron Commander says the Fantasy Flight boards in and of themselves are pretty good at parsing the rules, and that FFG doesn't let much slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Dragonsfly is Crystal, who shout out to our friends at the Sci-Fi Factory in Lake Worth, Burleson, and
Keller.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're in the DFW area, go check them out. They also have our comic on sale at the Lake Worth store, so go buy that. And she says congrats to you guys.
Thank you.
And Sir Kilgore, ground attack heavy fighter, I think referencing my question about the B-Wing.
Absolutely, yep.
So,
you were saying?
Yeah, what was I saying?
Okay, so
this happens with Twitch a lot, where I go to the board and come back.
You're talking about the efficiency of the
efficiency
X-wing.
of the B-Wings.
Right.
So now the X-Wing, now that it has this fix, it actually makes the X-Wing almost as survivable. I'd even say more survivable than the B-Wings, mathematically. So now you can actually have a list with X-Wings where you used to have B-Wings to do the same thing.
Yeah.
The reason for people that have played, or mathematically like Alex is saying, is it goes up in evade dice. So you're rolling, the X-Wing has 6 hit boxes, you're rolling 2 evade dice. The B-Wing has 8 hit boxes, you're only rolling 1 evade dice.
So a hitbox on the B-Wing is at 8 locations it can be shot?
Or no, 8 damages.
It has 3 hull, 5 shield.
Okay.
So you have to hit it 8 times.
8 times.
So
Okay.
hit
okay.
points.
Gotcha.
like
Yeah,
in
hit
video
points
games.
essentially.
Yeah.
It's easier just to describe a health of something than somebody without going
Right.
shields
Yeah.
and haul.
Yeah.
So the B-wing has 8 health,
Gotcha.
rolls 1 evade dice. The X-wing has 6 health now, rolls 2 evade dice. So your chances of evading the shots are greater.
Okay.
So mathematically, the list works out to be, like Alex was saying, pretty close to the same, if not maybe just a tad bit better.
Right.
Yeah. But, it's a Every Man Left Behind list where usually what I like to fly is 3 named pilots. I get real attached to them. One goes down. I'm like, no, I will avenge you.
Wedge.
Yeah, Wedge. Wedge
yeah.
is my guy.
Right.
I think this is my first non-Wedge list ever that I've taken to a tournament.
So you ran 4 X-wings.
So 4
and
X-Wings
a
and a Z95 Headhunter. One of them goes down and you just move along.
And did you run your B-wing
Okay,
list?
nope, I didn't. So I've moved on from B-Wings to Y-Wings.
Okay.
Are they slightly more efficient?
Right. Yes. So I'm all about the maths. So this is probably the most efficient list that I could come up with anyway, or anyone can come up with so far.
Yeah.
But it's 4 Y-Wings, Syndicate Thugs, which means that they're the
3 Ys is the one you flew.
Oh, you're right.
Actually,
Sorry,
Torkel.
it's 3 Y-Wings with TLT and Unhinged Astromech, and Torkel with TLT. So Torkel is an ace pilot. He flies a Hawk, which is kind of a crappy ship in this game.
Yeah.
It has a very bad dial. It can't turn around.
It's a support ship in most lists.
Yeah, it's a support ship. So his ability is that at range 1 to 2, he can turn a pilot skill to 0 of the enemy. So that basically allows you to shoot before one of their
So is
ships.
that sort of the equivalent of Tom Cruise going up like right on top of him and giving him the finger from
saying
above?
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So we didn't cover this for people new to the game. You move from lowest to highest when you shoot from highest pilot skill to lowest. So dropping somebody from whatever they're at to a 0 means that literally everybody on the board gets to shoot at them before they get even any
So
shots
they can
off.
retaliate.
You're right, which means that there's a high probability that they're not even going to be able
To
get
shoot,
any
they're gonna be
shots.
Kill
gone.
them
They'll be
immediately.
dead
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the whole point of my list.
That was your list.
Yeah.
And what did you fly?
I took a Palpatine list, so it's a Lambda class shuttle, which is commonly known.
The
Yeah.
tried open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We used to call it the space cow back in the day because it's terrible to fly. It can't turn around. It's literally only in a list in the Empire right now just to get Emperor Palpatine onto the board.
Oh, okay.
Palpatine's ability is decently strong. Some people say it's overpowered, but
It's not.
Palpatine he enables you to change a dice to anything you want once per turn, a friendly dice. So if you roll, like blanks on hits or whatever, you can flip one of those to a crit. You can just pick the dice up and make it whatever you want.
Okay.
If you bought your evade roll,
Did you guys ever play a long time ago Knights of the Old Republic, the PC and Xbox
yep.
game?
Mm-hmm.
You remember what Bastila's thing was? She had her force sensitivity, like the thing she was good at was battlefield control.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever like light side, dark side she was, if she was able to concentrate, she could literally sort of favor a side. Is that what the Emperor? Is that sort of the idea, or is it not quite that?
He's the only global. The idea is that he's a global modifier.
Okay.
So he can affect anywhere he is. He can affect your side positively.
Okay.
So that's kind of what his deal is.
he takes so even though this is a dice game, it's more a dice modifier game. If you're they're red dice, your attack dice want to hit about half the time. They want to.
Okay.
Your green dice want to miss is the thing, your defense dice.
Gotcha.
And the more things that you have that can modify those dice, then the higher chances. Josh
Anderson, thanks for joining us. I've not seen the new Doctor Strange trailer yet, but we'll talk about it tomorrow on the podcast. Join us again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're doing Talking X-Wing right now. And thanks for following us. Josh Anderson, 75 is our newest angry cover.
Nice.
LaBeat5354, thanks for joining us. Hey, how's it going? We're talking X-Wing, X-Wing Minis, and specifically the CAPA Cup in Pennsylvania. If you're just joining us, our fellows from 926th were just described their lists, or you were in the process of describing your list.
No worries. That was the shuttle, and like I said, it's just in the game and Imperial list nowadays to get Palpatine onto the board because it is a global effect that he can do.
Yeah. Once per turn.
Once per turn.
Okay.
Yep. And then I flew Vader, which was just with VI to get his pilot, VI's veteran instincts to get his pilot skill up to 11, which really makes him one of the highest pilot skills in the game, other than Han with veteran instincts on a Falcon, things like that. So Vader, you always want him to move last and shoot first. That's his game. So I flew Vader, and then
you flew Vader and the Emperor.
Yeah,
Crazy, right?
That's pretty classic,
so,
right?
Exactly, right? It's a classic.
Is that intimidating, just from like an emotional standpoint of like, look at this fucker's bringing to the table right now?
Yeah, it gets worse too.
Yeah. So the next one was Wampa. He's just a TIE fighter. He's really efficient. He only costs 14 points of your list.
You can't mix sides, right? Like
Correct.
when you're creating a list, you can't have X-wings and TIEs on the same.
Yep.
Yeah, there's only 3 factions. Yeah.
Okay.
So Wampa is only 14 points. He's extremely efficient at what he does. If you roll a crit on your dice, or you use Palpatine to flip one of your dice to a crit, you can cancel all dice results and then cause the defender to take a face-down damage card, which misses shields and everything.
Okay.
So depending on the ship you're flying, we'll go back to B-Wings since we were talking about it, to the viewers and things like that. So B-Wings have 5 shields and 3 hull. If Wampa gets to shoot at them 3 times, they die. Because you can do 3 direct damage to their hull.
Okay.
So you don't have to shoot through shields or anything.
Right.
So Wampa's ability is a plus-minus depending on the ship it's facing. So there's other ships out there that have more hull than shields.
Like the Y-Wing.
Like the Y-Wing.
3
So
shields, 5 hull.
yeah, so using Wampa's ability against the Y-Wing is not so good. You want to use him just as a regular TIE fighter and try to get damage through.
Right.
But against other ships, he turns out to be really, really good in E-Wing. I mean, it's only got 2 hull, and a lot of people play Corn Horn, which is 48 points, half of your list. And if Wampa gets to shoot a Corn Horn twice, he dies.
Who's Corn from?
He's from the Rogue Squadron books.
Okay. Okay.
So, and then the last one was, I wanted to say the last one for last, or the last ship for last,
Yeah.
is because I think it's going to really change and help the Imperial side of the game out a lot, and I don't think everybody's realized it yet. Omega Leader, he's just a TIE fighter, but he's a TIE FO, so he actually has 4 health instead of 3.
Okay.
A little bit beefier.
It's First Order.
He's
TIE
first
Okay.
order TIE fighter.
Right.
Yeah, from the movie,
From the
essentially.
4
Yeah.
seconds.
Yep. So he has an ability that you can take a target lock action, which if you have a ship target locked, he can't modify any dice while he's defending against your attacks or attacking you. So he turns it into whatever you roll is what you get. There's no changing the dice, none of that. And you put 2 cards on him, Calm Relay and Juke.
Okay.
What that enables you to do, Calm Relay enables you to save your evade token from the very beginning of the game as your first action. You move, take an evade, and that token never goes away. Juke, when you have an evade token, you can flip one of the defender's evade dice to a focus. So you obviously have that guy target locked. You're flipping one of his defense dice to a focus to which he can't modify again.
Okay.
Right? So it's kind of dirty.
So you're canceling out his
You're
ability to
canceling out
evade.
his abilities, and he's not able to modify his dice. So
Interesting.
it's 26 points to play Omega Leader. I don't think he sees enough play. He's
Is 26 a lot?
not really in the
It's
grand
a quarter.
It's
Quarter
a quarter of
of the
your
list.
list. But I will say, in 5 rounds that day, I lost him 1 time. He was the ship that lived through every match consistently. Nobody could ever kill him. You know, and not to take anything away from the CAPA Cup, but we went up to Team Covenant yesterday and played in their store championship. Talked to a guy who played Omega Leader up there for 5 rounds, didn't lose him once. I mean,
Cool.
it's
Tanky.
not
Very
tanky, and not being able, not letting your opponents modify dice when they're attacking or defending you, it's huge in X-wing.
Well, because like I was saying, it's a dice game. It's a dice modification game, and so you strip your opponent's ability to modify their dice, and now they have to
They
get
have to
lucky.
get lucky.
Yeah. And on top of that, with when Omega Leader shoots back, not only do they have to get lucky, but even if they do, well, part of that luck just goes away with Omega Leaders with the Calm Relay and
Yeah.
Changing the agility, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
just switch their evade dice to a focus, and then they can't do anything else with it
Okay.
because they can't modify dice. It's not a really powerful ship. It doesn't kill things fast. It only rolls 2 attack dice compared to some other ships in the game. But it's just one of these things. It's a ship that just chews through you slowly, you know, and there's nothing you can do about it, literally. And a lot of people, he was newer, you know, when we went to CAPA Cup, and I don't think a lot of people have seen the combo yet. And most left them for last, and that turned the tide of a lot of my games, because if it's 1-on-1 with Omega Leader, you can't win that matchup.
It sounds to me, and this is how I talk, I make links to other stuff. It sounds sort of like the combo in Halo, which is the overcharged plasma pistol and then a battle rifle backup.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, it's such a simple thing, but a lot of people don't just think about using that combo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And it sounds very effective.
Oh, and what's funny is this Omega Leader combo. So most really cool combos in X-Wing, you have to end up buying a couple of ships to get.
All the cards that require.
Every expansion pack has a specific set of cards that comes with them. But in Omega Leader, if you buy the TIE-FO, you get Omega Leader, you get Juke, and you get Comm Relay.
Oh wow!
You just
you get the combo in the box.
Yeah.
Chuck says 926 Ravensword. I think I can do this right. Pilote sans frontières.
Yes, Pilots Without Borders. Is kind of what we're,
Yep.
We don't have a home. There's no one shop that we
I like it.
that we solely support where we support X-Wing.
And then he says his typical turn list is 100 points, which we've covered. He had a 40+ point fire spray that he still lost with. Is 40 points now like how many ships? Like how much do you allocate typically per? Do people fly with 5 or 6 little smaller things, or is it typically like the average is 25 points per?
We can kind of get into a little bit of, because this is getting into some state of the meta talk that I kind of wanted to get into. I sort of discovered something.
Let me put a pin in that real quick,
Sure.
because I want to make sure we address Sir Kilgore's question. Can Palpatine modify another ship's die that's being attacked by Omega Leader?
No, only friendly ship, only friendly dice. So Palpatine cannot modify the defenders that Omega Leader is shooting at because he is an enemy ship.
Okay. And keep in mind what you were about to say about your thing. But I wanted to ask you guys before we leave like the CAPA Cup proper, how'd you place? How'd you do?
I was the lowest.
Did 926 represent it, is what I'm asking.
We all left with a winning record, but I was the lowest. I was the same. I was, at the bottom. I had some terrible luck. Guys that play the game will know when I say this. I lost 2 ships in a round to a hit and a direct hit, back to back. I didn't even get to do anything with them.
Oh, wow.
Which, there is 7 direct hits in the damage deck, so these things can happen. But to have it back to back, the probability of it is
pretty low.
Pretty low.
Okay,
it's brutal.
So that if I win that game, statistically, there's a chance that I make the top 8 with my margin of victory or MOV.
Mm-hmm.
But after that loss, it was just bad luck. And even the guy I was playing looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, man." I'm like, it's you just have to smile and go on about your day. This is a game, and we do enjoy playing it competitively. But when things like that start to get under your skin, it's not a game anymore, and it's not enjoyment anymore.
It's not fun,
and it's not an outlet. I do this for an outlet.
Yeah.
So I was like, "No, man, it's good. We'll play." It is what it is. It's
it
terrible.
It happens. Yeah. It's bad luck.
Yeah.
So
and that's part of the where the community comes in, because if someone just cold clocks you right at the beginning and you lose half your squadron like at the get go, I've clearly been crippled here. This is going to be a miracle if I win, and I haven't even made a move yet. And the other guy's also being like, well, you shouldn't have fucking started with that piece of shit. And you're like, you know what? I hate everything now. And so having like a really good community where it's like,
so true.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry, I just fucked you.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was like. But it's it's one of those things. In my mind, I'm thinking, damn, I just went 1,400 miles to play this game, and I still tried to win. It's an uphill battle. I lose 2 of my best ships in the opening, and I have Vader and Palpatine left. So now it's just Vader and Palpatine, and so essentially it's just Vader because the shuttle does nothing after it flies by.
It's the support, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I've done that before. I've driven 3.5 hours to Shreveport, got my room, went to the poker table, aces, all in, see ya, back to the room. How'd you guys play?
I at the end of Swiss, before the cut, I was 7th. I lost.
Out of the 40-something people over
Yeah,
there?
out of 44.
Nice.
I dropped 1 round in Swiss. It was to 2 IG's Matt
Kish.
yeah. And a guy plays the IG. Do you know IG-88?
88, yeah. He's bounty hunter, right?
Yeah. His ship is the IG-2000. And there's this thing in the game called Brobots where you fly 2 of them. It's like IG-88. I think he was flying A and B.
That's right, yeah.
IG-88A and IG-88B. And they have a thing where they can share each other's pilot abilities and stuff. Because, they're robots. So they're just like, yeah, it's cool. And he flew really, really well. But I lost that in my second maneuver, which was very disheartening. I lined up in my straight line. I've got 2 formations that I fly my X-wings out of depending on what my opponent is flying, and this one would have benefited me more in my straight line. So I line up in my straight line. We move forward. He does this kind of stall thing where he's running away from me across his edge of the board, and so instead of swinging my whole, so I'm lined up like this. Instead of swinging my whole list around and continue at him and in a straight line, I had everybody do the same easy maneuver, which now put my straight line diagonal this way, facing that way.
Everybody pivoted instead of
like
arcs.
a conga line.
So so now when he came around to engage me, it was
one at a time.
Yeah, it was just one at a time, and it was just X-wing pop, X-wing pop, X-wing pop, X-wing pop, and then my little Z was left, and he's a 4 hit point to attack die. It was
filler.
It was bad. But yeah, I dropped that one. I actually faced him again in the cut. We ended up being matched up again, and I feel as if I outflew him. Maybe he would beg to differ since he won.
Yeah.
But
Details.
I feel as if I outflew him.
Let's not worry ourselves with things like consequence.
No.
Right, facts.
Outcomes.
But there was a moment in the game where every round that I flew, I was able to set up a kill box, which is 4 or 5 of my ships pointed at the same guy, most of them in range 1, usually in kind of a circle or a box, and somebody flies in the middle of it, and I gotcha, and I set up my kill box perfectly, even separated his other IG off to the side, and it was just like, okay, he dies here. And then he didn't. The dice gods did not allow it. And after then, I was running low on time, and so then I started making kind of
hasty.
Yeah, like
flying Daniel.
Got to move quick. And I did not fly Daniel ever.
This is a direct quote from Daniel during the game. I'm not going to shoot at you because I'll probably just miss. So let's continue to the next round.
And I can validate this quote because I was standing there as well.
But here's the thing, right? I was up against the clock. I was losing at that point. I had to take half points off of one of his ships. The guy that I was shooting at was at full health. It was range 3 obstructed, which means I'm going to be throwing 3 unmodified red dice versus 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
5 green dice with the focus. And auto thrusters.
Yeah. He probably would have missed, but if he had all eyeballs, it would have hit.
Yeah, but let's go back to the probability of the dice. Because the probability of the dice are the red ones want to hit, the green ones want to miss.
Right,
but Daniel's dice apparently are the opposite way.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though.
Shoot.
So there was like 9 minutes left on the clock. And best case scenario, I take 2 shields off the full health guy, where I have another IG with 1 hit left. I felt it was more beneficial for me to move on to the next round, get my guys into position, pop that last guy, and then see about where the clock is, see what I can do. Now, because it was close, it might not even have been in range to shoot. So it would have been, okay, let's hold your base, put it down. Is that touching? Yeah, okay. 3 attack. All right, it's a hit and a crit. Okay, attack and or evade, auto thrusters, whatever. Cool, no damage. Or okay, 1 shield. Sweet. Now into the next round, and I've got 4 minutes left.
Right.
So I was like, no, let's just move on to the next round.
Daniel's playing at a level where he plays the game in his mind.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to roll dice anymore. I'm
just gonna talk into forfeiting at this point.
Hey, next time we play, can you not shoot?
So this is a funny thing. The whole Fly Daniel thing came out because usually I do this, but in the opposite way, where I beat myself flying my opponent's list for them.
Call it Flying Daniel.
Yeah. Flying, like I'm such a forgiving opponent, and I care more about people learning the game
like the
and
purity of the
having a
game.
good time, you know?
Right.
You know, you really should.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so somebody will do something and be like, I think I want to target lock. It's like, oh my god, you don't want to target lock.
You really want to
No,
focus.
you just really want to focus. Or you really want to barrel roll over here.
There's-
See, look, now you're going to roll these dice. Look, it hits. I'm going to do this and it misses. Great, you blew up my chip. Awesome.
That's a superiority complex or a pompousness that goes beyond like to your very literal detriment. Like that is
So,
absolutely crazy.
We told him up there before the tournament. We said no flying Daniel today.
Right.
Yeah.
Play to win.
Yeah,
Mind you, this is the top 8 table,
ruthless-
right?
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah, he gets the top 8 and
Yeah.
flies Daniel.
I didn't. It was a tactical decision based on the time left in the round.
Not shooting is not tactical.
I could not win shooting at him that round. I might have been able to win skipping that round and shooting at the other guy in the next round.
Regarding a little bit ago, when I said the community and having an effect on how much you enjoy it,
Yeah.
Chuck says, which is why I stopped playing X-Wing. Me in competitive mode is an asshole. So you guys have probably, some or all of you have probably flown against Chuck at some point if you've been to Lake Worth. And I've video gamed against Chuck before. And he definitely gets Donkey Kong like,
Yeah.
So how much of an asshole, keeping in mind that he's listening, is Chuck when you're playing X-Wing against
What
him?
do we want to? What's the scale?
The scale, let's do a scale of Yoshi to Bowser. And Donkey Kong's right under Bowser. And Toad, Peach, Luigi, Mario.
Okay, so he's not, flip the table and burn you down.
Yeah. He's not going to go slash your tires.
No, but
Will he ruin your
Tough
time?
decision, huh? Man.
this is hard. So part of why I do fly Daniel so often is if I see my opponent having a bad time, it's like I don't even want to.
I had to
finish
do
this
that
match against you.
When I played Guitar Hero online. If you did too well, they would quit.
Yeah.
And so I do get that mentality of like, I'd like to be able to be invited back,
Yeah.
or I would
Right,
like to,
yeah.
keep the bridges not burned.
Right.
Yeah, so
right.
I would put him at a Donkey Kong level, where he gets
Pretty much right.
yeah, he gets frustrated to the point, and we have another oh, actually people know Joseph.
Yeah.
Sometimes if
You know Joseph. Yeah.
yeah, if he
What's his call sign?
Joseph is Raven 2, actually.
Raven 2. Okay.
Yeah. Joseph, not in the same way as Chuck, but will sometimes it's get in his own head, be having a bad time because he made bad decisions or whatever,
Yeah.
and so now he just he kind of shuts down as an opponent, and I well,
Chuck's,
come on, dude.
Chuck's probably gonna yell. He's not gonna call. He's probably not gonna swear at anybody.
Right.
He'll yell real loud. Joseph will be quieter, and he'll swear at himself and hate everything that's going on.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Everything, no matter what.
But they're both great guys. and both
Dragonfly
great to
says
play
flipping
with.
tables only happens during Monopoly. If
Monopoly.
you have a literal Chuck flipping the table story, I want you to put it in the chat right this second.
Yes.
Alex, how'd you place?
Actually, I won it all. I placed first.
You placed first. Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
Fucking A. Good job.
Actually,
Showed him what's what.
the guy that I played at the very end was the guy that one guy I'd lost to throughout the day. So it was
Oh,
pretty
that's real.
hyper intensive match.
You
Yeah.
can't script that
Yeah,
anymore.
it was cool.
You can watch that match. It starts
1 hour 50 minutes.
Yeah.
an hour.
On the
Yeah,
Twitch.
on the Twitch. Mangled Soul is the Twitch.
That's MANGLED
SOLE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SOLE.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you want to see, for people who don't know the game, this was the 4TLTs versus Brobots, which is kind of widely accepted that the X-Wing is all about not really paper, rock, scissors, because it's more about a web of things that beat other things.
Yeah.
And it's not really beat, but things that are stronger against other things.
Yeah.
And the direct counter to the 4TLT is the Brobots.
Oh, okay. So this is the Batman v Superman of the X-Wing world.
Yes,
That's it,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And so if you want to see, if you think that flying 4TLTs is autopilot and easy, and we've had this discussion a lot. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
I think it depends on the competitive level of your opponent in play.
Yeah.
Sure.
At a local store environment, they're a terribly hard list to beat. But what Alex did going up against the direct counter three times that day.
Yeah, he had to face them
You know?
3 times that day. Only dropped 1.
Wow.
And had to do it at the final table to win the whole thing. If you want to see,
How to beat that list.
yeah, Go back and watch that because
he was arc dodging. He was jumping out of people's firing arcs with a ship that shouldn't be able to jump out of people's firing arcs.
Yeah,
I mean, it was fun to watch.
Sir Kilgore says that you got a gold decimator
I did.
for
Did you
your
bring it?
troubles.
You
I should have brought it with me. I didn't even think of it.
Is gold colored?
It's a gold and
Yeah,
black.
it's painted
It's-
gold.
Okay.
That's the CAPA colors.
The 14-karat gold X-wing
No,
miniature would be.
no,
You know,
that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
I'd have sold it by now.
Right.
But it was, we call it, there's the link right there.
Oh, thank you, Sir Kilgore.
We call it the Cadillac because it looks like a gold and black Cadillac. I mean, we put a low riding on the
Oh,
stand.
nice.
It looks sweet. It's
That's
really
really cool.
really well
I'm
painted.
gonna get hydraulics
Yeah, there you go.
let it, as it goes across.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's never gonna fly it because you can't put a TLT on it, but
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, never gonna touch it again.
yeah.
So is there anything that you guys in the last? We're coming up on an hour, but before we get to the 926th group in general, is there anything specific that you guys want to talk about? Either about the tournament or about X-wing in general? You mentioned earlier there's something about the lists when I asked about dividing up your points.
Yeah.
And you said that there's a
So with every wave
meta.
that gets released, the meta changes as what is viable, what is competitive, what isn't. And I had a debate with myself about whether or not I was even going to talk about this because I feel as if I've discovered something that has been completely undiscovered.
and you don't want to out
and
it
I
just
don't want
yet?
to give it away.
Interesting.
So it's
So
not an X-wing, so you won't fly it.
yeah, that's right. So last year I think the hotness was one big ship, one small ship.
Okay.
You know, that was kind of the thing that was winning a lot of tournaments. But when you go back and you look at the lists that win worlds and the lists that are in the top 2 or the top 4.
We did this when we were stuck on Hoth.
Yeah, when we were stuck on Hoth, I had a
We went
lot
through
of
all-
free time.
We went through all the world's lists.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is the exact same lists that are competitive right now. You're looking at 4 to 5, usually fairly low pilot skilled, but high efficiency lists that win or place high every single year. So all of this talk that everybody goes through with their podcasts
That's
and
funny.
not to you know because they are
You're
right.
saying,
the meta
you're
does
saying
change.
defense wins championships.
Yeah, kind of like you know with all the changing of everything, it comes back to
Like,
the exact same
Full
thing from
circle.
Wave 1.
yeah.
You know, the list I'm flying is a kind of version of a Wave
This
1
happens in
list.
sports a lot too, and both football and the NBA and everything, where someone sort of comes up with like a cool concept and it's fun to watch and wins a few matches, and so people sort of do that until this is how you beat that.
Right, and turns
and
out
then
that so far the thing that beats all those cool things are the things that have always done well.
Yep. That's why everybody says the meta changes. Like I think somebody just posted up there. Yeah, every fucking update the meta changes.
Yeah.
And it does. It does change on a store level, and I think it changes. I don't want to say that it changes, but let's just use that for sake of terms.
Mm-hmm.
It changes on a store level because people will come up with something new that you're unfamiliar playing against. So until you see it played and get practice against it, like Triple Defenders 2 HLC 1 Tractor Beam, you know, that has legs on it right now at store levels and maybe store championship levels and maybe even a regional the first year it's out.
Because people haven't experienced it on a
But if you
bigger scale.
If you look at the guys that are doing this, for lack of a better term, their job, like the Paul Heavers of the world, these guys that are winning world championships.
Are
Like
there
Daniel's-
professional X-wing players?
Nobody gets paid for it per se. I mean, I don't know what, you know, like Heavers won the last 3 worlds in
they
a
will.
row.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
will.
I'm
Like
sure-
5 years from now, there will be professional
there'll be
X-wing players
sponsors
that do it,
and
but
yeah.
But,
Right.
you know, kind of what I'm alluding to is like what Daniel's saying, the same lists that have always won worlds or the same type of archetype are still winning worlds today. That, you know, they're higher pilot skill lists though. Like, so, you know, guys like us that have full-time jobs and wives and kids and things like that, like, you know, how many hundreds of matches do these guys have before they put it on the world's biggest stage?
Right.
And, you know, so their meta at that top table, I don't really think changes all that much.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you get
There's something though that like fulfilling about knowing that is that you could try other things and you can do some crazy shit and you can win, but like it all comes down to the core, like that essential X-wing set that you can fly well, outthink the other guy and win.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can definitely do that. That's why everybody says in this game, one of the big things is fly what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, apply what's enjoyable to you because you're going to play it better.
Yeah.
You know, and just have a more enjoyable time doing it, win or lose.
How much of the game is, in poker terms, reading the other person? Is there I can tell what he's going to do with that, or I can get an idea of how he's going to fly this formation.
So they're at varying play skill or play levels. You're kind of playing your own guys. Like maybe you're not looking at what they're doing at the beginning level. You're just playing your stuff.
hand.
Yeah, you're like, where do I want my ship to go? I don't want to hit that rock. Like that's as far as you're thinking. So then as you get a little more advanced, you start looking at them and you're like, okay, he's probably going to go here, so I need to go here to either keep him in arc or avoid his arc or whatever. So that's the next level. Then the level above that is it's way beyond the game. So in our
you can hear the parking lot,
right?
The air conditioning comes on. Okay, he's a little bit cooler, so he's probably not going to rush this one.
Right, exactly. And that's what it comes down to. So I lost that match against the robots pretty handily, and I'd already given up at that point. It was round 5 around 5 at that point. Yeah. I was tired. I was like, I don't really feel like trying too hard at that point. I was just kind of tired. I knew I could lose one and still make the top cut, so I wasn't too worried about it. But the fact that he beat me so handily, when he saw me at the end table, he was excited.
He made the comment, "Ha ha ha! I'm glad to see you here."
He was really excited to have it. He's like, "Oh, I know my list can beat that list, right?" That's what he was thinking. So to him, it was already won. And so when I started to play for real, I think that it shocked him. And then
that's hilarious.
You can kind of see him start to make mistakes. He almost kind of breaks in the middle.
Because he gets frustrated.
He gets frustrated,
You can hear it in his voice. Some of the rule questions and stuff that came up, he was definitely frustrated in some of the outcomes that were happening on the table. And that gets into your head in any game.
Right.
You know?
That's...
Yeah, so
it sounds like a fucking movie script, like, the way that came out.
Yeah, so that's that upper level. I imagine that Paul Heaver probably plays at that level. He probably will I buy you donuts like in the beginning of the morning.
There you
are. He might throw it at you later.
My friend.
Right.
One of the quotes from Heaver that's always stuck in my mind when you talk about like playing at the next level was when he won Worlds this year, and he said, they said, well, how do you know where you're going to end up, and how do you know where your ship's going to be, and how are you so good at maneuvering on the board? And he said something, I don't remember his direct quote, but he said something to the fact of, he knows where the stars are out on the playmat.
Right, that's right.
There's, thousands of these little white specks on this playmat, and he goes, no, I just count the stars. I know exactly where I'm going to be and where I want to be.
That's really feeling the map. That's really funny.
Well, I think it goes to a level of screwing with you to the point where you're like, whoa, he can read the
map. There's certainly a bit of there's a little bit of self-doubt that'll go in there. If you can get your opponent to doubt what they're doing, do I want to attempt this maneuver?
Right.
And that's really awesome.
Right.
Then Hogo Fett, thanks for joining us. As Sir Coco started talking about X-wing miniatures and the recent CAPA Cup, is there anything that you guys wanted to throw out before we begin the wind down process that you want to talk about, didn't get a chance to talk about? And we'll come back and check with you guys, in another month or two or something to see how things are going and bring it back in.
Yeah.
So this will not be your only chance to.
Right. Coming up, we've got a few things coming up.
Okay.
Check on Facebook, DFW X-wing Community. There's a lot of events going on all the time. So, if you're interested in the game, meet up with somebody.
There were 926th Ravensword t-shirts right now.
Yes.
This is their logo, their badge.
It's my battle jacket.
Awesome. That Hogo Fett, join us tomorrow on the podcast at 9 p.m. and I will engage you on my opinion on gay sex. That is what the podcast is for.
Serious question.
And I'm being serious with you. That is what we will answer your question tomorrow at 9 p.m. I want to make sure I use the X-wing time to X-wing with these guys.
Yeah.
926th on Facebook.
926th Ravensword.
Ravensword on Facebook.
We're gonna have, it's very, very, very preliminary, but I do want to kind of get this out there real quick. We're planning on having probably end of March a charity tournament.
Cool.
I'm not going to release the charity yet just because we haven't checked with them, and I want to make sure everything's on the up and up with them. But it's going to involve a tournament where entry fee goes towards the charity. And then also I'm going to try to talk to local stores to donate ships, local artists to donate time to paint them. And we'll do like kind of a sell raffle tickets to win these custom painted ships. Also, all of that's going to go to the charity. Like, literally there's going to be zero monies that goes into anybody's pockets but the charity. So stay tuned for that, 926th Ravensword on Facebook and DFW X-wing community, and you can follow us and like us, and we'll keep you up to date with X-wing goings on.
Excellent. And you guys you've inducted your first ace.
Yes. Yes.
What makes an ace?
Okay, so in fighter pilot lore, different time periods and things change. Generally, it's accepted 5 kills makes you an ace.
Right.
5 confirmed kills. So starting from, if you guys haven't put this together yet, September 26th, when Ravensword was founded.
I did not put that together.
926.
I had no idea. I thought you chose random numbers.
Yeah. So September 26th on, if you win a tournament, there's it counts as a kill.
Okay.
And yes, I know that the Hoth Open, I believe, is in Chicago end of March. It's not going to be literal end of March. It's going to be towards the end of March, or like all that's very preliminary.
Yeah, dates aren't released yet.
Yeah. So we've had kind of this race to an ace because from Ravensword start there are 0 aces. Doesn't matter how many tournaments you won beforehand. Sorry, Rich. From the start of Ravensword, everybody's on even playing ground. So Alex had gotten to 4 kills before he went to CAPA.
You aced at CAPA?
So he won CAPA.
Oh, that's awesome.
And became an ace at the same time.
That's a good trip.
That was good. It was great.
Yeah.
926 is the fastest growing DFW group if you're in the DFW area, or even if you're not and you want to start learning about X-wing stuff and you want to coordinate with them about getting things done. Do that. Go to their Facebook, and their community is really, really welcoming to all levels and skills and everything like that.
And that's one thing that I just wanted to close with real quick is you see a lot on the boards of these. We're getting a lot of new players now, and someone will say, "Hey, there's a tournament on Saturday. Come out and play." Oh, I only have this, or I only have that, or I'm not very good yet. I just want to say the community right now, because the game is so young, is so great that you need to come play in tournaments, even if you don't want to play it competitively. In the end, and you choose that it's not a game you want to play competitively.
Right.
You'll learn more about that game, X-wing, in a day than you will in weeks just meeting people shops and playing with random folks. So, if you don't have the cards or you're missing this or that to make your list complete, just come and ask. I mean, there's a lot of us here sitting on this couch now that have everything, and most of it's not in use each week.
Right.
Yeah.
So, come ask, borrow cards, play. I mean, get out there, come to tournaments. This is where you're going to learn. This is where the community happens.
Awesome.
There have been a number of tournaments. One in particular, a guy showed up, brought his ships, literally forgot every card for his list. I was like, what were you going to fly? Hang on. Just pulled out my stuff, got him set up with what he was going to fly.
That's awesome.
That's how the community is, though. And that's the way that we strive to keep it.
Yeah,
Everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. Also, for us, you can follow our social media at Angry Cuddles. It's up on the top right corner of your screen. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. It's all Angry Cuddles there. I'm going to have 926 back again. It's the opposite of what you think.
Over this way?
It's a mirror, boys. Switch feed.
Real quick, that Hogo Fed, if you're still here, I will answer your question. If you are asking me, I am pro everything. If you're down, go for it. Strike Manta. Army always equals gay butt sex. I don't know if that's true. But Sir Kilgore says first time he played a full match using all the upgrades was against Rich at Collected TCU. His brobot's hurt.
Yeah.
Nice. Sorry about that. But I mean, you learned a lot, and I've seen some of your lists you're coming up with, and they are looking a lot better, and you're doing a lot better playing the game, which is, we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was that, Kilgore?
It was
What's your name? What's your names for Kilgore?
Names are bad, yeah.
What's your names?
No, I'll look him up later.
Collected
I'll tell you who
TCU.
he was. I played him round 1.
Oh,
I
okay.
collected TCU.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Gurry list?
What's that?
Gurry list?
Yeah.
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Joseph.
There we go.
Awesome.
Chuck, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget to check, follow us on Twitch as well if you haven't yet. Your name will pop up and be really cool and welcome you as an Angry Cuddler. And check out our webcomic at angrycuddles.com. If you guys want to watch Byronic Commando stream, you can click his name right there in the chat. And he streams during the week. Fallout 4, Walking Dead, How to Survive. Shit, I forgot something. Deus Ex, I think, is one that he's doing too. And we will be back tomorrow night for the podcast where we're going to be talking about PAX South. And we're giving away a $20 PSN gift card if you are a PlayStationer. So join us tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central Time. And I'll let you guys sign off with your name and call sign.
Raven 1 signing off.
Alex Gurley, Raven 10.
Rich Johnson, Raven 9, signing off.
And my name's Steven. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night.
Bye.